Hey there, Sharon Horne-Ellstrom here. Welcome to day 1856 of What You Up To Now. Documenting the journey primarily as I transitioned. Originally hopped online and started talking about every day, documenting my journey, sharing experiences, sharing what's working, what's not working, and what I'm working on with respect to growing and building and supersizing my business, as well as helping other people to do the same thing. I spent over a quarter century in corporate America while simultaneously owning and operating and running my own businesses in at least 27 different industries offline before I came online. Since I've come online, I've kind of lost count of all the different industries I've had my fingers in, because there's been probably well over 100, and maybe even more than that. I lost track, and I've never sat down to think and count. Maybe if I get quiet time, 2 babies in the house, I don't think that's going to happen, but you never know. I might get some quiet time to consider and go through and list out and actually spreadsheet out and look at all the different industries and businesses I've been involved in. But topic for another day. Today we're talking about the emotional goal setting process, because our annual challenge this year is Get Your Goals Annual Challenge. And I'm breaking it down by an 11, crazy, where'd that come from? A 9-part, not enough sleep, a 9-part life framework that I use. And we started focusing on, we did general things January. In February, we started with the emotional area and aspect of our life. And there's physical, mental, emotional, spiritual, financial, relationships, contribution. And I added confidence and communication in 2021 as a continued way to deal with the implications and the ramifications of the COVID pandemic, because it has impacted billions of people. It's impacted almost everyone on the planet in some way, shape, or form, and will continue to ripple through and impact us in ways that we can't even imagine yet, because we haven't realized the impact, and we won't even know that they're connected for probably a couple of decades to come. But the COVID pandemic, we will definitely look back on and say, boy, did that change a lot of things, and not necessarily in a great way for us. So we're focusing on emotions. I started today, and we're going to share. I felt like we were missing it as part of the challenge, so I decided between now and the end of the month, we are going to go step by step by step, day by day, through a process to identify, to work through the emotional area and aspect, our goals in that area. Every year, I personally have a process where I set annual goals, and then I break them down by smaller and smaller chunks, so I can actually get to the point where I'm doing a few things every day that are moving me toward achieving those goals. And I want to make sure that I'm sharing how I do that with people in the challenge, because it's one of my secrets to getting a whole lot of stuff done that I normally wouldn't have gotten done if I didn't do it this way. And it's been, decades of trial and error to figure this out. And so when I figure something out, I want to share it with people. And so that's what I'm doing here. So normally I just would cover a topic about emotional well-being every day. And I'm still doing that because I didn't want to not do that. Because February is a short month anyway. And I think since our emotional well-being is so critical to every other area and aspect of our life, we really want to cover that first. Because as humans, we experience our emotions and our feelings first. And then our mind takes over and starts giving meaning to the emotions that we're feeling. Well, we talked today about dealing with difficult situations. And the process for that's a lot like letting things roll through us. The process is we need to deal with difficult emotions and difficult situations. Sometimes we can choose not to participate, but other times it's critical that we do, because we find out that we're shortchanging ourselves and our experiences here on the planet by not dealing with our emotions. And sometimes we're going to talk about tomorrow what happens if we don't deal with them and they just get trapped in different places in our body. I have had that happen to me, and so I want to make sure that I'm sharing what I learned about that experience as well. So today we talked about the first step of that goal setting process, and that's identifying what the heck do you want. You probably know what you don't want, because you're not liking certain things or areas or aspects of your emotional life and emotional well-being, but you might not know exactly what you do want. So we're spending some time today thinking about and deciding, well, what do we want? What's our current situation? Are we happy with everything in that emotionally? And if we are, great. Maybe we just want to improve and get more of something that we're already doing. But chances are, if you're like most of us on the planet, there's some areas or aspects of your emotional health, your emotional well-being, that you'd like to see improvement in. And so those we can set goals for as well. So that's all we're doing, is identifying that. And then our idiom for today, which is on my lap, was to rise above it. And I like these idioms that are general and subject to interpretation, especially since I'm taking idioms for all possible situations and I'm making them fit to how do we build and grow and supersize our business. What does this mean to us? Because we get to define what things mean as we're growing and building our business. That's one of the cool things about building your own business. You get to create what you want in your work, in your life, and in your business. And so rise above it is another one of those idioms that they don't actually know when it came into being, but it's been around for centuries. We've used it for centuries. They suspect it came from when people would go and they would climb or rise above or climb up to a high spot to see further away in order to escape danger, to have an advantage in a battle, etc. So there's lots of different ways we choose to, and there are things we get to choose to rise above as we're building and growing and supersizing our business. There's things we get to choose to rise above or let define us if we don't choose to recover and rise from them. You know, I had a sudden cardiac arrest in 2010, and I could have just, shut down and retired and not done anything since then, but I decided I wanted to rise above that physical challenge, that thing that happened, and not let it define me, but let it catapult me to what it is I really am here to do, and how I'm here to serve other people and make the world a better place. So that's it. If I can help you in any way, I'm hanging out with my 2 beautiful granddaughters to help out. My daughter just had a week ago her second little baby girl, and so that's 2 under 2, and she needs a hand while her husband's working. So if I can help you in any way, ask. Again, I mentioned yesterday we're doing some really cool projects, and I am doing something I've never done before. So that means I'm learning new things, which is always exciting for me as I dive into an industry, believe it or not, in a segment I have never really worked in. I've interacted with them, but I've never really worked in that segment or with that segment as a customer. So it's super exciting. Anyway, if I can help you, ask advice. I will be with you tomorrow. Have a fabulous day.